Big guy here. Today, I'm going to talk about people using past traumas or letting their life being dictated by others, using that as an excuse not to progress forward. So, for example, someone will say, I never learned how to do that because my parents abused me, or I'm afraid to do that because, I was in an abusive relationship, or the teacher never taught me how to do that. Things along that lines. And what it boils down to is you're basically using that as an excuse, blaming it on someone else. And the problem with that is you're only holding yourself back. You're still letting whatever unseen forces have power over you, and you're using that as an excuse to hold yourself back. It's probably one of the more harder ones to let go of. But you can't let other people dictate your life. Ultimately, you're in control of your life, and it's up to you to move it forward, to move it to where you want it to go. You can't let other people dictate that. So, for instance, what I came from or where I'm at, I shouldn't be where I'm at now, what I came from. My dad died when I was 7 months old. My mom was in a bad car wreck and left her partially paralyzed when I was in the 5th grade. I've had a lot of stuff hold me back, and Jesus Christ, why is my phone going off? I'm in the middle of doing this thing. So, I had every excuse in the world I could have turned to as to hold myself back. I could have been like, I never had a dad teach me how to be successful with women, and I could, just been an incel. I hate that word, incel, involuntarily celibate. Freaking guys that don't want to put the work in to go out and be successful with women. That's like, I hate that. But I had every excuse in the world to be that. I gotta stop saying As far as my career, I have a good career. And I could have used the excuse of, I didn't have parents around to teach me how to have a good career. I could have just worked at a dead-end job, barely making ends meet. But I didn't. It took me a little while to get started in life. I'll admit it, I was a late bloomer. I didn't, I went to college after high school. That didn't work out, and worked a few dead-end jobs, and it took me a while to get to where I'm at now. But the thing is, I didn't let that hold me back. And I know a lot of other people that suffer from this. Like, their parents may have abused them, and they're using that as an excuse to hold themselves back. You can't do that. Once you recognize why you are the way you are, it's up to you to change that. From that point on, you're responsible for your life. You're responsible for your actions. And if you keep holding yourself back, you can try to blame them all you want, but ultimately, it's your fault. You're the only person responsible for your life. The life choices you make, where you're at in life now, it may have been because of someone else. But the fact of the matter is your choice now moving forward. It's your responsibility moving forward to be who you want to be in the future. And you have to put forth the work and effort to do that. And it's going to be on no one else but you. At the end of your life, when you meet your maker, he's going to look at you and he's going to say, well, why didn't you do this? And you're going to try to blame somebody else. And he ain't going to listen. He's going to be like, no, that's all on you, buddy. You had every tool at your disposal to do this, and you didn't. So, when it comes down to it, you can't let other people dictate your life. It's ultimately your choice, your responsibility to do that. And another thing along those lines, my favorite one, especially in high school, I heard this all the time. Well, the teacher's not teaching me. How do you really teach someone to do something? Ultimately, it's you that learns it, right? Someone can kind of show you the way, but you're kind of teaching yourself as it goes, right? There are great teachers out there, but basically, a teacher is a person that shows you how to learn something. It's up to you to learn it. And some may be better at it than others, but, you can't blame someone else for it. It's up to you to learn it. I have apprentices at my job, and I get to teach them electrical all the time, right? And I can show them all day the ins and outs of it, but ultimately it's up to them to teach themselves. And people learn differently, so you got to figure out how you learn, and you got to figure out how to teach yourself these things. we live in a time where we can teach ourselves almost anything. I mean, the internet has a vast amount of information. So if there's something you want to learn, there's no excuse for you not to learn it. If you want to be better at dating, there's no excuse for you not to be better at dating because the resources are out there. The only thing you got to do is take those resources and apply them to your life and see what works for you and go for it. If you want a better career, resources are out there. The information is out there. You can learn how to do computer programming, networking, computer repair from home. All you need is the internet and a computer to play with. And that's a good career right there. There's no excuse why you can't do that yourself. Oh, well, I don't have someone to teach me. You have yourself to teach you. The information's out there. It's up to you to learn it and apply it. Same thing with people, might not be able to tell it, but I'm a natural introvert. I'm not really a social person. I can be. I taught myself how to be, but deep down, I'm not. So, like, it was really hard for me to learn how to be social, but I taught myself how to do it. I put myself out there. And one of the cool things that helped was I found other social people that kind of took me under their wing, and I watched them. I learned from them. And that's kind of how it is in life. You put yourself out there for whatever reason you need. Don't let someone else hold you back. You put yourself out there, and you're going to find other people in a situation you are. You can find other people to learn from. And then you can, let them be your mentor, and they'll kind of show you the way or guide you along the way. But the thing is, they're not just going to magically come knocking on your door and be like, hey, you want to learn how to do this? Follow me. No, you got to put yourself out there, and then you'll find them. Bottom line, you can't let past trauma dictate your life. You can't let it be an excuse for where you are in life and why you're not succeeding the way you want to succeed. Because it's your responsibility. You can blame it on the other person all you want, but at the end of the day, it comes down to you. And you have to let that stuff go. You can't, you can be mad at them, sure. You can blame them for it. Every day you come home, man, screw this person. They did this to me. But you know what? The longer you hold on to that, it's just hurting you. You got to let it go, man. Dating, too. A lot of guys, we get hurt from women. We do. But you can't keep holding on to it. You got to let it go. You can't. If you hold on to it, it's going to sour you for the next one. And don't hate them for it either. You ain't got to forgive them for their sake. You forgive them for your sake so they can move on better. Ultimately, your life is in your hands. And no one else is going to take responsibility for it but you. You can blame other people for it. But at the end of the day, it's all on you, buddy. So, you got to take responsibility for your life. You can't let past events dictate your future life. Yeah, I get it. Some of it sucks. Some of it sucks real bad. I've heard some bad stories. And I understand why people are the way they are. But you know what? They have to let that stuff go, and they can't let it dictate who they're going to be. Anyways, that's my little rant for today. Big guy out.